Fixing an old melted slime, and let's give it a little makeover. I'm not a fan of the swampy color, but I like how vibrant it looks. First, I'm pouring the melted slime into the remains of a dried slime I failed to fix. That sounded kind of diabolical. Anyways, then I'm adding white glue into this because I really wanted to try to change the color. I added red coloring with no luck, and then I added blue coloring, and that made it a little better, but still not a significant difference. I just gave up on adding coloring and just decided to activate it. I still wasn't 100% happy with this, so I'm adding clay into it to change the texture and hopefully lighten the color. Adding some lotion to soften it a bit. Y'all, that was the move because I love the result so much. It's not the stretchiest because it's so thick, but I love playing with it, and now I won't be sitting in the dust. Trypophobia warning. Attempting to fix another dried up slime. This one had potential to be saved, I believe. The top layer was dry, but the layers underneath were still soft. This thing was stubborn, just like me, to get out, so I had to whip out the scissors. Was that the smartest thing to use? Probably not. I don't recommend doing that. I separated the dry, hardened part to hopefully make it easier to melt, then I cut everything into pieces. Not gonna lie, stretching the center like that creeps me out. It looks weird. Ugh. Added fresh boiled water into it. I let it sit covered for an hour. The boiled water didn't completely melt it, but there were parts that did. I then dispose the unmelted parts. RIP. Technically it's slime, but you can't really play with it because it's really tough, so I'm adding some lotion to soften it up. I wasn't completely satisfied, so I decided to make a whole new slime. Combined that with the original, and this is the final one. I'm happy with it. Didn't think I'd be able to fix it, but it turned out well. First step into making this a beautiful slime is I'm going to be adding some shaving foam. Reason is because I really want it to be thick and fluffy. And this is what I mean by how this slime is a mess. Just the colors and everything is just not really nice in my opinion. After you let it sit for a while, it kind of just gets all gross. So actually, many of you guys suggested that citric acid actually melts down your slime, and I've experimented with this before, and that's what a lot of you guys recommend for melting or fixing really hard slimes. So I really wanted to try this out, but I didn't want to just use straight up powder because I feel like that could mess up the slimes, possibly. So I dissolved it in really hot water, I let it cool down, and then I poured it into the slime. And you can see an immediate reaction with the citric acid. It just kind of like breaks the slime apart. It's amazing. And I didn't even add that much and it's able to do that already. And this is a huge slime, so that is so cool. You can already see it's getting a little bit stringy. The next step is adding some color because personally I am not a huge fan of gray slimes. So this is the final look after adding the color, and I absolutely love it so much. Like, this is such a pretty shade of blue, and you can see such a dramatic difference between before and after, and I'm so happy with this, you guys. I think this looks so good. Next slime for the makeover is this one right here. To be honest, it kind of looks like puke to me, and it's just not a pretty shade of green. I don't really like the color at all. This is actually the Play-Doh slime that I made in my previous video. I wanted to change up the texture because I really didn't like that mushy Play-Doh feel. Feels gross and it's not fun to play with. So shaving foam is the answer, and it's the quickest answer because not only is it easily accessible, well, for me it is. Oh, what? Where did that come from? I don't know where that accent came from. I don't know. Anyways, it's just a quick way to change up the texture of a slime, and I like that. So now I am adding some color, and you know, of course, because like I said earlier, I did not like the color of this. Even though it may not look as bad right now, well, that's because I added some shaving foam to it, but earlier, as you saw, it looked like puke. And this is the final color, and I really like it. I would wear this on my lips. Now I am melting it a bit with the citric acid solution I made earlier because it was just not really stretchy and it was a little hard. So I definitely don't want that. I am adding some fruity scent to this because Play-Doh is fun to play with and all, but not the smell. I do not like the smell whatsoever, so I had to give it some scent. For the final touch, I am adding some microfloam beads to this because I am a huge fan of microfloams. Results look like a pretzel roll, and I love it so much. I hope you guys like it too. Last but not least, we have this white slime. So there's nothing really much to do to change this. I didn't really want to give it a dramatic makeover because I actually really like this slime. I really like white's basic slimes. Although this is not really a basic slime. This is more of like a cloud icy slime. But it's super hard, like really hard. It almost feels like you think it would be impossible to melt it and make it stretchy again. That's where the citric acid comes. I really wanted to test it out. It really breaks down the slime a lot. At first, after I used the citric acid, I was thinking it's breaking it down, but it's kind of separating and becoming stringy. I didn't have hopes of it becoming smooth again, but I was wrong. It did take a bit of kneading, like a lot of it, and the result is freaking fantastic. Like, oh, look at this. It's so nice. It's stretchy, it's soft. It just feels so good on my hands. I absolutely love it. I am going to be fixing old worst rated slimes. If you're new to my channel, I buy worst rated slimes on Amazon and I review them and see if they're actually that bad. And I compile a lot and I collect a lot of them. They're most definitely old. I don't know how old. Let's see if we can fix them. Here's the first slime that I'm going to try to fix. Clearly, I didn't get anything similar to the listing photos. It was 1.9 out of 5 stars. Colors probably mixed during shipping, which is understandable. At the same time, I also thought it was sus because the blue is practically dominating the colors. So I don't know how it was purple, but you know what? It is what it is. And here it is a year or two later. I don't know how old, but this is pretty dang old. And I don't know how how or why it became like this. It was just weird. It was dry, but some parts of it was not. I was struggling trying to get this out of the container. I don't know how it became like that because I never took off the lid, and usually that happens if the lid was off. I didn't want to give up on the slime yet. I still wanted to try to fix it, so I ripped the slime into pieces. That sounded really aggressive, but I just wanted to make it easier for it to melt. I added hot boiling water into this. I let it sit for an hour, and then an hour passed and it did absolutely nothing to the slime. So pretty much I discarded the super dried up parts. I managed to salvage the parts that were on the verge of drying up, but it wasn't completely dried. I added some water into it, put it in the microwave, and the microwave did the trick. It completely melted it. And then from there, I just added more glue to it so that I can make an actual slime out of it. Here it is in all its glory. For any clear slimes I fix or use clear glue in, I will show you guys a week later update just to see what changed. So for this one, this got much lighter in color. As you can pretty much tell, from the purple is not as saturated. It is also more glossy. The next slime that I'm going to fix is this blueberry fluffy, not a fluffy slime, a butter slime. This was 3.1 out of 5 stars, which is average, like not the best, but not the worst. I was watching the footage back to see what the condition of the original slime was like, and overall, it wasn't a bad slime. It was pretty decent. The only thing was it was so moist, like way too moist. Transitioning to now, the slime has definitely deflated and also dried up a bit. It was very rippy and tough. So to fix that, I added a lot of lotion to this, and that did the trick. It made the slime so much more creamier and smooth and stretchy. I also decided to add some clear glue into it just to give it more volume. This slime was actually not a worst rated slime. Like, I didn't use that as a filter to buy this. I was actually buying used slimes. Yes, used slimes. Its condition was considered acceptable, but in my opinion, that's not a good sign. It's not great. It was low rated, 2.3 out of 5 stars. This is a fishbowl slime with pink and blue beads. It originally came in a busted container. It was a beautiful slime, like it was super clear and everything. The only downside was every time I stretch it, the beads would fall out and also the slime would rip. Here's what the slime looks like in present time. This happened again in the first slime that I fixed in this video where I have, or was it the second one? Not sure, but I never took off the lid. I don't know how it just completely dried up. Like, this is not usable at all. I don't even think it's fixable. What I did was I took out all of the fishbowl beads, every single one, each individual bead out of this, and it took some time because some of them were really stubborn and stuck in the slime. Made a whole new slime out of it, basically trying to recreate the slime. So I used clear glue and I used borax for my activator. Here is the slime after it's all finished. None of the beads fall out, which is great. Here is what the slime looks like a week later. There are a lot of bubbles, but it's still pretty much clear. Lastly, this is a kiwi themed jelly cube slime. It was 3.7 out of 5 stars, but this does not reflect. This individual slime was actually part of another slime, and I bought both. Original condition, it was not bad. It was clear, jelly cubes intact, but there was just so much glitter fallout. It would also sometimes rip when I stretch it. Now going to what the slime looks like in present time, I was surprised because nothing significantly changed except for the size. It deflated a bit. Glitter fallout is still the same. So to fix that, I decided to add clear glue to increase the size and so that it will increase the surface area so that the glitter won't fall out as much, was my theory. Cloudiness is something that's inevitable because of clear slimes. They do that when you play with it. A week later, this is what the slime looks like and can confirm there is zero glitter fallout. It's just one glitter, okay? Just let me have this moment. Fixing this super dried up slime. Can I fix it? Let's find out. This was originally a cloud slime. I'm not sure how long I left it out for. Definitely a long time. The way it dried up is so cool. I mean, look at this thing. It looks like a whole island. I didn't really have a plan on how I was going to fix this. I just winged it. I first tried melting it in a pan on the stove, and I quickly realized this was a bad idea. It was starting to burn. Like, I could actually smell it. I then decided to put it in a glass bowl, pour hot boiling water into it, put that on top of the pan, and then put that on the stove. Yes, I know it looks questionable. Let's move on. I had this sitting on the stove for 1.5 hours. It still didn't completely melt the slime. I was close to giving up, but the stubbornness in me was like, No, I can fix you. Just like how you think you can fix your toxic situationship. Then I added citric acid into it. I was thinking, oh, acid? Acid melts things. Perfect. I let that sit on the stove for 30 minutes. Didn't really do much, so I decided to just leave it in the citric acid water overnight, covered, not on the stove, by the way. 12 hours later, nothing happened. Off camera, I tried heating it back on the stove for another 30 minutes. Yeah, nothing. I just gave up at this point. I really tried my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough. What a bummer, because I was so determined. I really wanted to melt it and fix it because I was so curious on what it would look like after it melts down. Anyways, let's move on to this wonderful slime that we have here. It's having its own iceberg moments. So I tried the same method of trying to melt this on the stove. This is what it looks like after an hour on the stove. I thought, okay, this is actually pretty melted down. So I decided to add clear glue into this. And then I tried activating it with borax. And the more I added, it just wasn't clumping up. I'm not sure why. It was just like a weird reaction. Maybe it's the heat, maybe it's too hot. I don't know. But I added so much borax and it would not clump up. So I just gave up. This was a fail. After what I went through with the orange cloud slime, you can tell, like, I was just losing energy. I was losing hope. Look at that blue color at the bottom of this one. This is absolutely gorgeous. This obviously has some clay and some slushy beads. I had hope for this one because the top part is super dry, but the bottom part actually had some melted down slime that I was able to activate with borax and form into slime. So that is awesome. I was mentally and physically done with the stove method. I just had zero patience. I didn't want to wait an hour waiting for it to melt down, so I just stuck with the microwave method. I did 2-minute intervals at 70% power, try to melt down the top part of this. I think I did 5 sessions in the microwave and this is what it came down to. It's pretty soft and melted, and I was able to mix the slime that I fixed onto the top part and it became one whole slime. I was able to fix it and I was just ecstatic that I was finally able to fix one dried up slime. So mixing the two actually melted down the slime, so I had to add some activator, no biggie, and this is the result. Trypophobia warning. Fixing another dried up slime. The way this dried up was so freaking cool. It dried up in 3 layers. This was originally a clear purple glitter slime, by the way. Can we talk about that last layer? Look at that glitter. Like, how does it even all stick together like that? And then the middle part is all clear. My brain can't comprehend. This is literally a work of art. This thing was rock solid, like solidified the solidification. The first step is to melt this. So just like what I did to the orange dry slime, I added some fresh boiled water into this. I let it sit for about an hour. After an hour, this is what it looks like. Some parts softened up and rose to the top. The body of it was not quite there, so unfortunately I couldn't use the whole thing. What I did was I ripped out the softened bits of the body and made a whole new slime with them. I added clear glue, and this is where it went all wrong. I didn't think about how I'm also activating the softened bits that I ripped out and the glue at the same time, so I'm gradually overactivating them. My next step was to think about what to do with the overactivated softened parts. I cut them. I cut them into smaller pieces and added them into the slime I made. I actually don't think it looks bad. It gives it more texture. It's giving smoothie with crushed up fruit. That sounds yummy right now. The before and after is a drastic change, and that's all that matters. I'm happy. For the rest of the video, these are going to be clips I pulled from old videos of me just simply reactivating the slime, whether it's because it's melted, it's sticky, etc. So for this slime, this was completely melted, so I'm reactivating it with borax. This was from an old Slimer video where I had to add, I think, a type of clay into slime. Oh, I had to add Indian clay into slime. This clip is from a video where I bought slimes my subscribers picked, and this was one of them. This is from Amazon. This one was just a bit sticky, so I had to add some activator into it. This slime is from the same video as the previous slime. This is from Jaden's Craft Shack. I'm not sure if there's still a slime shop because it was a really old video. This one unfortunately came a bit melted, so that's why I had to add some activator into it. This is a root beer themed slime. Overall, a really nice slime. All the accessories really complement it. I stated that it had a really strong smell, like straight out of the packaging. I said it had some hints of mint to it. This one was from one of my old buying the worst rated videos. This one was rated 3.4 stars, which is average. It's not the lowest, but to be honest, if I see that, I probably wouldn't buy it. This one came sticky and I had to add a lot of activator. It's also one of those slimes where no matter how much activator I put in, it doesn't really get over activated, but it still manages to be a tiny bit sticky sometimes, which I don't know why that happens. It could be the ingredients used, but I just do not like when slimes do that. Besides all of that, the texture is actually pretty nice. It's stretchy and creamy. I swear to God, I am not making this up. It smells like iced tea. Yeah. This slime is from a video where I secret shopped your slime shops. This is called Dino Butter from Peachy Jelly Slimes. I don't know if you still sell slimes, but I hope you're doing well. Description says that it's a thick and glossy white base and it's scented like chocolate chips. First of all, I definitely did not want to mix the clay dinosaur into the slime because it is so cute. The slime base was sticky, so I had to add some activator. After you mix in the dinosaur, it becomes this really thick, creamy, buttery slime, and it's just so nice. This slime is from the same video. This is pumpkin spiced latte from Slime Donut Shops. Again, I don't know if you still sell slime anymore. You're probably not watching this video, but I hope you're doing well. It's a school glue thickie with a little bit of instant snow powder made with a pumpkin spice scent. This also has the latte part in a separate small baby mini container. My awful attempt at trying to emulate the pumpkin spiced latte. I tried. At first the slime was a bit sticky, which is not a problem. I just had to activate it and it was all good. This slime is very stretchy. It also makes great bubble pops. No matter how you play with this slime, you can guarantee a bubble pop. I also really like the details of the black specks to, I assume, represent the pumpkin spice. I'm gonna be honest, I've never tried anything pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin spice drink, or whatever, so I don't exactly know what it's supposed to smell like, but this smells really good, and how I would imagine it to smell like is a very warm scent. Very delicious. For the last slime in this compilation video, this is from another Slime Dares video. I was making Orbeez with borax instead of water, so I'm activating this sticky, sort of melted slime with Orbeez.